I'm going to recap this. Started my conversation with wishing Sister Teresa Cummings a happy birthday and thank her for staying with us, staying with her people, with her children of Liberia. Yes, I love that woman. I love that woman. Cool to be around, hang around. Yeah, that's my smooth mama right there. Okay. Um, Mr. Cummings, beautiful wife, smart, intelligent, okay, kind. This woman contribute tens of thousands of dollars, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, supporting Liberian institution, school, scholarship, STEMS program, the school, the training center, the what do you call it? The halfway home, what do you call them? Safe home. Okay. In Liberia, he support, I mean, it's there. She and her husband support those places in Liberia. And they have given hundreds of thousands of dollars to Liberia. Okay. No, that's not the reason that I support him. The reason I support him is for his character, for his heart, for his hard work and his vision for Liberia. That's why I support him. Those of you who know, I just do. Brother Ben, yes. Brother Ben, the topic tonight is the brother issue. What are the issues confronting Liberia? I started with the United States. Okay. I started with the US first. I spoke about, I hear some Liberian people running on Facebook who do not understand American history, who have not studied American history or any history for that matter, and they just want to belong. Okay. And they're running around and say, oh, the Orange Man is introducing a new bill, and immigrants who are here legally will get passage to have their papers. That is not a true statement. People have to understand, if you go back to American history, okay, there were times that Black people were not allowed to come to the United States. They have quotas. And I also spoke on the processes that people, immigrants, go through to regularize themselves, to get green card, to get citizenship. Okay. It's a lot of processes, fingerprints, this, that, birth certificate. And I explain to the people here because I live in tri-state, and because I do, I have to speak on both issues. And I also read a story from one of our sister Representative Underwood, who said if this bill goes through, over 69 million women will lose their voting right. People have to understand, when the 13th Amendment was passed, the 14th Amendment was passed, the 15th Amendment was passed, where Black people ran, they won, they represented, they came back and they undid it. And they voted those people out because they said they could not read and write, although they didn't send them to school. Although during slavery, they weren't allowed to go to school. Okay. Then when they passed the Jim Crow law, it was another way of slavery, where they did segregation, almost like apartheid in South Africa. Okay. So those are the things I talk about. And I was telling them, there's no way you can vote in America because of the narrative they're carrying. There's no way you can vote in America. Okay. Every voting post you go to, you have to have an ID. So the story that people don't have ID is a lie. Okay. It's a lie. Now, good morning, Michael. Thank you so much for your voice, lady. I appreciate that, adding your voice. I know you've been talking, but now you're more vocal and more upfront. And we're all adding our voices. Yes. Okay. So what is the problem? What is the broader issue that facing Liberia? The bigger issue that facing Liberia is morality issue, empathy issue. We don't want to walk other people's shoes. The very people that were begging, the people that were in power yesterday are in power today. Now they don't want to be bothered. The very people that were calling, we are here, people rogue yesterday. You know, today I listened to, and I'm gonna go there. Today I listened briefly to Mr. Dr. Family. While I respect knowledge, I'm a seeker of knowledge. I am an educator and I'm a student. I've always been. My quest for knowledge have no limit. Like in my class, every time I tell my kids, the goal is for all of us, while I impact you, to walk away better than you were yesterday, have more information than you did yesterday. For me too, I want to. So every day I must absorb something to make me better. When I hear him, what your name? Dr. Famule, carry on. This is the man who Ellen then went out there, brought in the coup that failed in 1985 when I was a kid. He was supposed to be in charge of communication. And that way they got a name from the Undertaker. I still remember that. Or the absentee general. And he's screaming. The people, and there's something wrong with our morality, our patriotism. Because here it is though. The people you taught at LU, majority of our leaders in the last 20 years have been a graduate of LU. They've been part of the institution of Liberia. It don't matter if you took them out of the country and briefly sent them here for 6 months to Kennedy School or this, that school or that. I don't see them building. I don't know how many students are there at LU. I teach in a building with almost 2,000 children. It's clean every day. The bathrooms are clean almost every hour because the kids are going there every hour or every 30 minutes. The walls are wiped down for the next day. When we leave for break, the place, the carpet is clean, it's vacuumed, it's washed if need be. How? Look at LU. And the thing is, we talk and we point finger. And I said, Papie Boaka will be the most educated Liberian president ever been. I'm not talking in terms of degree. I'm talking about in terms of acquisition of knowledge over the years, 40 plus years. And all to be seasoned, to understand the issue of the nation. I don't see it. You know, I was listening today briefly on Spoon when the people said, people don't know Boaka to be corrupt, but I know him to be corrupt. No disrespect. And I always say that Boaka office and his people, and he pretended that he didn't know, tried to steal $1.5 million from my brother. And then the second $5 million. Briefly, that they fell off. Ellie had to get involved to get that money from them. Some of them even soon at the time say they would never speak to him unless they pass in the ground or unless in death. And he pretended that he didn't know. And later came on, oh, if he can use the money to run his campaign when he win, he was going to give it. Just like he was paying everybody back. My brother said, no. This money was sent to use it for something. That's corruption. That's corruption. Coming to us, why allow somebody like me to use my money to host him when he travel, he gets money and we're lying on Ellie? Leaders take responsibility. Leaders don't shift blame. Papie Boaka have been in power 2 years. John Makafole were in power for less than 90 days and his people felt it. Ibrahim Traore, you know why the Burkina Bees start sleeping in the street for Ibrahim Traore? You know why they started standing up for him? You know why the whole world now know that little boy name? You know why American white, the younger generation, the older generation, the experienced people, soldiers, people who have been to war and come back, you know why they're fighting for him? He has the heart of his people. The children, the women. Look at the tractor trailer that bought that billboard. People are there to monitor. Instead of the soldiers sitting around and playing games, they are now in the field producing. I teach about the Sahel. Okay, I do. And we were projecting by 2050, that whole place was going to be a desert. That nothing can grow there. That the Sahara had come into that. And the rolling grass into the savannah is about to come into and take over the rainforest. But guess what? Since the gentleman took over, there are plenty trees. Fruits are growing there. Factories are coming up. They're building a dam. They're connecting Niger, Mali. They're connecting, they're joining them together. Like when I move from here, I go to Virginia, like I go through the path, they're putting those together. What is, and I've asked this question now going to 3 years. And I asked this question to we are in government. When people talk, they say, how you got it? And I said to Papa Boaka, what is the plan? It's not just what you put on paper. The budget should reflect the plan. The budget is the actual plan. Because you will put your money where your mouth is. So if I see the budget and they say education got 30% of the budget, that is the plan. So say we're going to do 4 things and do it thoroughly. We're going to create jobs. We will make sure our children go to school. If you solve the economic problem, you will solve the security problem. You will solve the drug problem. So we're going to say 4 or 5 things that we're going to do well. We're going to invest in education because knowledge is power. Your country GDP. Okay. Your country GDP, quality of life, and your country literacy rate are directly correlated. Any country with higher standard of living, their education rate will be high. Corruption is not building. Corruption is holding people accountable. I will hold people accountable. And the Papa spoke about it over and over and over. Now all the contract go to his nephew. All his family people in the government. Those who come on social media and curse people and denigrate other people, we get them position. I put Lola, what I just read, I put it down here. So you can look at it. Okay? Y'all look up China. Y'all compare Mao to Deng. Y'all look at Lee Kuan Yew. Those of you who are in a position of power, see how they did it. That's how you learn. You know why the kings in the ancient day have philosophers? They have wise men, philosopher people who study other places and brought in the information, like the Socrates, the Plato. In Asia, there are Confucians. You know why they did that? Because it would take everybody to build a nation. I just told you about Brazil. And Lola was one of my case studies in grad school when I did my MBA. We did a lot of case studies. The Apple computer. We studied organizations that have failed, that people thought were too big to fail, like the Xerox. The age of printer, the huge printer. Nobody ever thought they were going to fail. People don't need printer anymore. Like we used to go take our picture, Kodak of all people. So when I hear your Liberian people say, oh, the person work for a company that is structured, they don't have to do nothing. That's a lie. They must be competitive. They must be dreamer. They be visionary. They must stay ahead of the curve, ahead of the competition. They must be in the position to think and hire people that can think, to produce, to stay ahead of the competition. You know why Border Books fail and Barnes and Noble still? When we were migrating, when Barnes and Noble were migrating to digital technology, digital library, okay? photo books was still catering to people walking in. Eventually, they filed bankruptcy. Those of you who were in Liberia those days, CS Reeboks, the who among who's of Liberia used to order from CS and Macy those days because they used to send the catalog. Where is CS? CS failed. It was a structured organization. I'm just telling you. It was a multi-billion-dollar organization. When you go to Chicago, at some point, it was the tallest building. I'm sure it still is the tallest building in Chicago. The CS corporate building, the CS Tower, is there. That was an American icon. They were left behind. Before there was Walmart, there was Kmart. Most people shop from Kmart. Walmart came. And today, Walmart, everybody know Walmart. Walmart is in China. Everybody know Walmart. What happened to Kmart? Kmart fell. It was a corporate, an American legacy organization. Too big to fail. Nokia, the telephone company, when they were bought out, the CEO, tear rolled down his eyes. And he told the people, he said, I'm sorry, you didn't do anything wrong. Things just changed. And I think I wrote an article that time. And I said, they did something wrong. They failed to innovate. They failed to stay ahead of the curve. They failed to answer to the need of the people in real time. And that's what business process is. You got to keep thinking. If you can't think, you have to hire a thinker. And that's how country evolve. You don't, you stay behind. America came from nowhere. Italy existed before America. Germany were here before America. United Kingdom were here before America. France were here before America. And guess what? This country, where I said this is Creek land, it was the Indian, Native American land. Guess what? The very people that they welcome, the very people that they show how to live over the land, because they could not survive the malaria here. In this Georgia, Irish people were not allowed here. Jewish people were not allowed here. The only reason they allowed Jewish people on this land, because the last group that came, as malaria grabbed them, and the people didn't understand where malaria from is, because they didn't come from a tropical area. And Georgia is tropical. And they have one doctor, Dr. Noonan, and he knew how to treat malaria. That was the only reason they allowed Jewish people in Georgia. Why am I saying this to all of us? People evolve based on need. Leadership should change their mind. Nothing is static. Okay? For those of you, I watch Liberian. How do you lead your people when children and their mothers are sleeping in the street, but you're building a $10 million vacation home? A country that went to war 14 years. That almost destroyed a quarter of its population. In fact, it did. And displaced almost half of its population. 35 years later, no justice, no accountability, no apologies. And the very people who caused us all of this pain, they're telling us nonsense. Then my question is, I gotta go, folks. My time here is over. I ask the absentee general, what has been your contribution? You're cussing people, you're cussing Liberian, calling Liberian people, Dord, street orchard, and all of that. They're Liberians. It is the role of the government to educate its population, to empower them, to create an enabling environment. And you people have not. Your sister was part of the inauguration team. You yet to call her out. But you're calling. I don't agree with we are. I thought we are let all of us down, especially my mother. My mom was big about we are until we are going to do something. My siblings will not even talk to me for 2 years. And then you're cussing the man. If you do better than we are, you don't have to worry about we are. Do the Liberian people work. You don't have to worry about we are if you did the Liberian people work. If you do half a well, Tisava did, you don't have to worry about it. Okay? You wouldn't have to worry about we are wanting to come back, don't want to come back. You wouldn't. You wouldn't at all. But you know why you worry? Because you know people have expectation of you and you are not doing the right things. You know that. All of you who yelling all over the place, that why you're cussing we are here people. If y'all were working, nobody will hear we are. The same thing we thought we are. If we're doing well, nobody will think about UP. But regardless, regardless, it is his right as a Liberian citizen to run if you want to. You can stop that. Nobody can stop it. The only thing can stop it is for you to produce. Okay? For you to produce and make sure, okay, that the Liberian people believe you. That's the only way. But to think, to curse, to carry on is going to change anything? No, it wouldn't. No, it won't. It won't. Do right by the people. Folks, this has been my Thursday evening second thought, Africa. Thank you so much for joining me. Tomorrow evening, I'm going to do a special show just to raise funds for my platform. Please join me here. I will appreciate it if you join me because I just want to fix it. I want to get back to Nigeria. Right. I want to be on the air in Liberia. Back. I just don't like the you're on the air, then something come out, then you cut off, no warning. You know, things are always different. I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. Okay. That said, let me say good night to all of y'all. And I'm gonna show a few pictures here. Where am I? Where the pics I just did? Okay, give me 1 second, folks. Is that where I just did a picture? Okay, here we go. This is Miara Tekina. Let me see all of you today, Sis Teresa Cummings' birthday. Mother Cummings, God bless you, love you, happy birthday. And this is, I'm signing off. This is Yacindy. I wish you well. And I think I'm going to go ahead and maybe send a note tonight and just say, happy birthday. Okay, there she is. Good night, everyone. There she is. Oh, did I do that? Yep, there she is. Yep, hanging out. There she is. Beautiful. Uh-oh, that's all? Where my other picture? Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. I'm like, okay. No, Mr. Cumming, now your birthday. That's Sister Teresa's birthday. Why are you showing all my picture? There they are. Eh, almost 50-year marriage. This is my best picture. I love the picture for some reason. I just love this picture of these two people. I really, really do. This is my best picture. I love it and I love it. I love it. Yeah, I see that. I see that. Yes. So I needed to say, let me move this and let me say hello and thank you to those of you who tuned in today. Okay. Let me say hello and say thank you to all those because I see a lot of comments here, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't see all of this here. Okay. So let me see here. James, Frank, Ben, says Rebecca, Mark. Zeze, you here? Zeze, you here? Pepe Tobogi. Um, says Rebecca, Emmanuel. Yeah, thank you for being here. Good night. Zeze, thank you, my fellow teacher. We inside. We'll talk later. Y'all, good night. Good night. Let me put that here. This is where I'm gonna land. I'm gonna end. And I will come down here.